Today, we're going to take a journey through the evolution of generative AI at work. We're going to see how it went from this fascinating new toy to a force that is completely reshaping how business gets done. So let's start with a question you've probably asked yourself. How on earth did AI go from science fiction to suddenly being right there in your sidebar? I mean, 1 minute it's in the movies, and the next, it's helping you write emails. How do we make that jump so incredibly fast? Well, it wasn't just one big bang. It was this super rapid, really powerful evolution. And the best way to wrap your head around it is to see it as a story that really unfolds in 4 distinct phases. And our story really kicks off in late 2022 with what I like to call the ChatGPT moment. This was the spark. For the very first time, AI wasn't some abstract thing in a lab. It was a real tool that you, me, anyone could actually use directly. This whole consumerization of AI is what got the ball rolling. And that spark? It ignited our first phase, a complete and total app explosion. It was like a gold rush for new AI tools. This whole era was just fueled by pure curiosity, right? We all started playing around with these standalone tools. Think ChatGPT, Jasper, Midjourney. And a lot of the time, we were using them outside of work, just for fun, asking them to plan a trip or write a silly song. But then, of course, we started bringing them into our jobs for little things like whipping up some ad copy or getting an email to sound just right. And yeah, the results were impressive, but they also showed us a huge problem. The whole experience was fragmented. Every single one of these cool apps was its own little island, totally disconnected from where we were actually doing our work. And that fragmentation, well, that was a problem that technology was bound to solve, which brings us right into phase 2, AI joins your workflow. This is where AI suddenly got super convenient. Instead of having to go to some other website, AI just started showing up inside the software we already use all day long. Like Microsoft Copilot popping up in your Outlook, or Google Gemini being right there in your Google Docs. Suddenly, you didn't have to switch contexts anymore. The learning curve just dropped, and adoption, it went through the roof. So here's the key shift. AI went from being a novelty to being a daily utility. But, and this is a big but, it was still optional. It was right there, ready to go. But you, the user, had to make the choice to actually click on it and use it for something. But that was just the start of a much bigger change. We are now heading into phase 3, and this is where the relationship really evolves, from thinking of AI as just an assistant to seeing it as a true coworker. And the jump here is from reactive to proactive. See, the assistant model waits for you to say, hey, I want to use AI for this. But the coworker model? It's already there. It's a seamless native part of the system, suggesting things in your CRM or flagging risks in a project before you even thought to ask. It's not something you call on, it's just embedded. So where is this all going? Well, phase 4 takes us into the future, and it's all about orchestrating teams of agents. This is where our role changes from being a collaborator to being more like a manager. Just look at the difference in how we'll interact. The old prompt was a simple task. Summarize this report. The new prompt, that's a strategic objective. We're not giving it a task, we're giving it a goal and asking a whole team of specialized AIs to figure it out. And this right here, this is the most important takeaway. The human role completely shifts. From asking for tasks to defining outcomes. We become the strategists, the ones who steer the ship for our new digital teams. Okay, so understanding this 4-phase journey is one thing, but what do we actually do with this information? This is the strategic pivot, where we take all this theory and put it into practice. First up, we've got to recognize something called transferable literacy. Every single time an employee messes around with ChatGPT, they are building skills that directly apply at work. Prompting is basically a new kind of digital fluency, so smart companies are going to be the ones that encourage that playful curiosity. Second, frictionless adoption is everything. The best AI is totally invisible. It's just seamlessly woven into the tools people already trust. But that doesn't just happen. It takes real leadership and, just as important, a culture that gives people a safe space to experiment without fear of messing up. Third, and this is the big one, we're seeing roles get completely redefined. This isn't just about doing the old jobs faster. The very nature of work is changing. We're moving away from doing mechanical tasks and toward higher-level thinking. The focus isn't on the how anymore. It's on the why and the what's next. And finally, none of this cool stuff happens without solid platform foundations. I'm talking about secure data, tons of computing power, and really clear rules for responsible AI. You just can't build a trustworthy AI-powered company without this stuff. It's non-negotiable. So let's just quickly recap that journey, right? We started with all those separate apps. Then we moved to helpful add-ons inside our workflows. Now we're building a real intelligence layer, and we're looking ahead to a future of managing teams of AI agents.
And all of this, it's all leading to one big idea. The final destination for this journey is what we call the AI-native workplace. This is a whole new world where AI isn't just a tool we pick up and use, but a core part of how work gets defined and done.
I want to leave you with this one last thought, because it's a big one. Generative AI isn't just about making us faster at our current jobs. It's going to open up entirely new kinds of work, new roles, and new possibilities that we literally couldn't have imagined before. The future of work isn't just being accelerated, it's being completely reinvented.